My mom and my dad never were married. There's a lot of insecurity. I think when you grow up in a single parent household, most of the things I did were just to be noticed or just to kind of be affirmed. The exposure to pornography that started around middle school time, it just started to take me down a path that was destructive. I was a troublemaker and I'd get in fights and I would steal things, and ultimately one of the middle schools I went to kicked me out because of that. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to see that someone saw me, appreciated me, loved me. You know, high school I was the kid where I was, pretty good at baseball. I was in that group of friends where we were always the good kids. But then, subversively in the underground culture of high school, you start to do things and be involved in things that you maybe shouldn't be involved in. There was a huge feeling of hypocrisy. Well, I kind of lived this double life. And then when I got to college, playing baseball in college, I realized that there was also another lifestyle that could also give me that affirmation. And so girls and partying consumed me. They were kind of my idols or my gods. And then middle of freshman year, they both got taken from me. So I had a really serious girlfriend that I kind of thought she was the one. Then she broke up with me. And then partying had its ramifications where I was being put on academic probation because my GPA was going so low. And so then I got kicked off the baseball team. Those two things kind of were the catalyst that said, man, my two gods just got pulled from me, and I realized they didn't work. It was about a 3-month period that I can say that I started to kind of research. I thought Jesus was always kind of below me, and I could kind of morph him into what I want him to be. But then I saw this God in Scripture who humbles himself, and he says, I'm going to be meek, be mild, live a life that someone could never live, and then die the death we all should have died. I started to see that there's a nature of grace that's beautiful, amazing, and sees me in my mess and says, I still want you. And I started saying, oh my goodness, I just kind of looked back the last 3 months and say, man, I love him. Like, I love him, I want in. I thought that, the pornography addiction or the struggle with lust would go away immediately. I thought the struggle with anger would go away immediately. And I started to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. But then I thought I had to hide that and not let anyone know. And there was just a really sweet moment about a year in where I was finally broke with one of my mentors and just told him. And he just really preached the gospel to me in that moment. He was vulnerable about his own sin, told me about his own struggles. I started to realize that it wasn't by my personal effort that sin would fall by the wayside. Titus 2:11-13, for it says that, for the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation to all men, training us to renounce ungodliness in this worldly age. It says the grace of God is what trains us to say no to sin. That's when it started to fall by the wayside, when I saw that the Christian life is about intimacy with your Creator, even if you are struggling and you are failing, and trusting in Jesus to cover that thing rather than trying to just be better. One particular thing that I try to say from my testimony is sin can never go so far out that the grace of God can't also go out and redeem it. And so knowing and trusting that he's seen it all, he still wants you, and he just wants you to come into a relationship with him.